Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Crappens. 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 Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the one and only master of all the fish, Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello, Benjuni Don. What you doing?
You excited? I'm just, what I'm doing is I'm here. It is, for us, it is like that last day of school before you go on break, because this is our last recap that we're recording. We're still going to have shows up for the next, week and a half, but this is the last show that we're actually recording until January 3rd. But we have like a 4-part recap of Falling for Christmas, which is the Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie. So be sure to watch that on Netflix so you can watch us. We're doing that with Reality Gaze. We already did it. We had so much fun. I think it was the most fun I personally have had doing one of our crossovers so far. And then next week, after the Reality Gaze stuff, we also have an interview with the one and only Anisha from Family Karma. So we talk some Family Karma. And then in January, we are going to do a Real Housewives of Miami catch-up ep. We just did not have enough time, unfortunately, to recap each episode on its own, but we're going to do a little catch-up. We love it. We love it. We love it. Please do not take it as any sort of slight against the show, because we absolutely love it. So that's all the content that's coming up. And today we're talking Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and what a crazy, chaotic episode. Before we recap it, though, I was feeling very reflective this morning, Ronnie. I was thinking back on this year that we've had here on Crap. It's been an extraordinary year, so I really want to thank everyone who came out to our 10th anniversary show. I mean, we got to do that show, and we started off the year basically doing the town hall show, the Crappies. We got to go back on tour. The show just sort of got bigger than it ever has before. It's really been a wonderful, wonderful year, and capped off, as I mentioned the other day, by getting 2 nominations for the iHeart Podcast Awards. So it's really just been extraordinary. So I'm feeling very sentimental and thankful right now.
Yeah, it's a bit, when you start the year on Broadway, listen, 2023. Well, also 1923. Hope you're doing great back then. It's a depressing time. But this 2023 is, it's going to have a lot to live up to, for sure. But I believe in you, 2023. And thanks to all of you for listening, keeping us going, thank you so much. You literally give us a life.
Yeah.
Literally. So thank you so much. It's been great. And so this was really fun. This was a fun recap, fun year. Basically, Heather's not going to tell us who punched her, and the show's over. Have a great holiday. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone. Good night. See you on tour. Yeah, that's sort of but you know what? This is a great, chaotic, messy episode to sort of finish up our recaps of the year, because, wow. Just madness, pure good class. This felt like season 2 again,
It's only season 3.
I know. It's such a disaster. This show is a disaster, and I love that we have a mystery now. Oh, something that has to be addressed. This is actually important. It's not actually. I'm just kidding. It's not important at all. But I'm feeling a certain sense of guilt. I feel like I've contributed to the downfall of our society, because I made a little video last week where I joked about oh my God, I just took a second look at the mid-season trailer and I saw something I'd never seen before. And the trailer shows Heather Gay going to her door, opening up her door at 4:50 in the morning. And then it cuts right to her taking off the sunglasses and revealing her black eye. So I spliced in video footage of someone falling off a boat. I'm not going to say where it's from because people may not know. So I'm going to be respectful to that. But it's just someone falling off of a boat. And the joke was, oh, look, that's how Heather got her black eye. That's fake news. It was a parody by me. People are reporting it like this is what really happened to Heather. Like people are like, oh, at 4:50 in the morning, Heather left this house and went onto a boat and fell off and got a black eye. It's not. That didn't happen.
Well, listen, we're Bravo viewers. We know it's easy to pull the wool over our eyes. Listen, most of us still believe Dorit's rich. So that's something. So, yeah.
Yeah, but, no one's going to believe me. The people who believe that it actually happened are not going to believe me, even though I actually made the movie, because they're going to say, no, that actually happened, and she's covering up for it. She's covering up for something now. So now they're going to believe it's a conspiracy about the boat. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, America.
Yeah, it's it's the lamestream media. It's tricking everybody.
There was an actual article that was written that was like, one theory is that Heather Gay fell off a boat. I was like, that's not a theory.
And people get into arguments. I've read a lot of comments of people being like, no, I saw it. I saw the clip.
I made it with my own little fingers, everyone.
So good. All right. So that's actually the best clip you could have put up, because that's the only inkling to what happened. I mean, nobody knows, and Heather's not going to tell. She's being coy. You can't be coy about abuse or somebody punching you, okay? You don't get to do that. If the cops showed up, they would still arrest whoever was there. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe this is the real reason why Jen Shah was not invited to BravoCon and not, originally invited to the reunion, even though then she ultimately was invited, and then they said, but you have to talk about the trial, and she said,
according to her, according to her. So she came out with a statement. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, she put a statement on Instagram, and she said, they originally uninvited me, but then they re-invited me, and I was going to come, but then I decided not to come because they wanted to talk about my trial and all this stuff going on with me, and I refused. So it's my choice not to be there. It's kind of like an I broke up with you before you broke up with me, even though you broke up with me before I broke up with you kind of a statement. Yeah. And I don't know that I believe that. She could have just pulled an Erica Jane and been like, well, and that is a lawsuit, and it is under... What did she say? What did she keep saying?
It is without prejudice and a prejudicial judice.
She just kept saying, like, it's a lawsuit and we are not going to discuss it, or something like that.
It's under legal review. I'm sorry, this is
for legal reasons.
This is under the supervision of Clarence Thomas at the moment, so until he makes a ruling.
Yeah, she kept saying, for legal reasons. For legal
reasons without prejudice. Yeah, courthouse.
Yeah, all Jen had to do was show up and say, I can't answer that. So I do think this is bullshit. But my conspiracy theory, look at this, on the heels of me being like, guys, I contributed to the fake news on the internet. Now I'm like, my conspiracy theory is that Bravo did an investigation and saw that Jen Shah was the one who perpetrated violence. Because I feel like if you commit a crime, if you defraud thousands of people, or if you are somehow party to a crime, that's fine. Bravo's fine. Like, put you on for an hour with Andy Cohen. But if you punch someone else on the cast, you're out, Which, by the way, I'm not saying that she should be kept on because she punched, but I'm just showing that, like, I think that violence, like inter-cast member violence, Bravo is, like, not down with whatsoever. So my theory, and this is a theory, there are no facts to back it. My theory is that Bravo found out that Jen Shah did the black eye, and that's why they had to get rid of her for all these things like BravoCon.
Well, I hope we find out, because Heather's being really weird. And if Jen Shah didn't do it, they're really doing her a disservice, because the woman's about to be sentenced and they're going to be looking at all of this stuff. And now they've made it look like Jen did it. So, and also, who else is making it look like Jen did it? Jen. Because Jen, I mean, literally, she needs to buy a glove with that's just made out of a cookie jar, because she really does look like her hand is in the Cookie Monster's mouth.
That would be worse on the eye. Actually, I personally think that Bravo is doing Jen a service, because they're establishing on a nationwide audience that you don't want to fuck with Jen Shah. I mean, she's going to jail. She's going to she needs to assert dominance in there. Okay. So this is like an advertisement, like, stay away from her,
Oh my God.
Don't mess with Jen Shah.
Yeah, I think we've already got that. So here we are, San Diego, day 3. Hopeful waking up music. It's like, dun, 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 everyone's waking up. And girl, I'm watching. Every time somebody gets out of bed, I'm like pausing and looking to see if there's any bloodstain on their PJs. I was like, Whitney, show me those PJs. But there was nothing there. And then Meredith came on and she pulled off her, mask. That's the one my Chandler wore, and pulled that off. And I was like, is there bloodstains on her? Nope. No bloodstains on her.
No bloodstains anywhere. But Meredith does cough in bed. She goes, and then it goes, like, aha, got her. She coughed. Finally, it took us 3 years, but we finally got footage of Meredith coughing.
I think some people went on vacation over there because the sound effects was obviously a new person. It was just somebody's like, yes, I'm going to assert my sound effects dominance. And they came in here at that sound effects board and just went crazy this whole episode.
I'm surprised there wasn't a slide whistle. Maybe there was.
There was. Well, there wasn't a slide whistle, but there was the slide ding. The ding that's like...
the sound of someone stepping on a rake. Which... I feel like there's got to be footage of Whitney doing that somewhere, by the way. Ow.
So now it's like wacky music and Jen's getting up. Okay, so Jen wakes up. There's a scrunched up tissue on the floor next to her bed and lotion on her bedside. And if she was a teen boy, she'd be outside picking weeds. Be like, how dare you sit in this home?
There's also Domino's, like a half-eaten Domino's box or something in her room too. So,
I said, it was what were you having, a masturbation sex party in there? We found your lube, your Kleenex, and your Domino's. Rondell, get outside and clean up those weeds.
So then Meredith is like slinking out of her room. So we get this new anthem that we've had this year, like that goes ha 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 ha. And then she like walks out their room into the hallway and runs into Jen. And they just sort of look at each other.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Oh, and don't forget the sound effect. As the door opens. It's like, thanks for that, guys. We needed that to illustrate the door opening.
I wish there was like the explosion sound, like when you were a kid and you had like like a sound effects box, or honestly, it's on any megaphone, not to be triggering, but like you press that button and it goes, and you're like, as a kid, you play it like 5 times in a row. It's like, guys, there's bombs.
Yeah, I got one of those. I got that for Christmas one year. It was a Mr. T keychain, and you would just press
Classic.
a button, and then it would be a Mr. T. Like, what did he used to say? It's like, don't mess with me, fool, or whatever.
Yeah, pity the fool.
Okay, so
but also,
Meredith.
by the way, I have to say, I guess I want to apologize to my parents because it is Hanukkah right now, and I do remember that for Hanukkah, or maybe it was my birthday, it's always the same time, they got me a little Casio keyboard, and which had like 100 different instruments, but of course instruments 70 through 79 were sound effects. And I just want to say sorry to my parents because I really went to town on that car horn sound effect where every single key of the keyboard is just a different sort of variation on a car horn. Could you imagine? For like 6 months, me pressing the car horn thing in fifth grade, thinking it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard in my life.
Basically, Jen at a reunion. What about me? Meredith is like, wow, Jen looks about as good as I feel right now. So then Heather texts Jen, I'm having a problem. Could you come to my room? I'm serious. And so she goes over there and we just see that like old jewelry trunk and there's like costume jewelry on it and a pizza crust, and on the floor there's a sad Marilyn Monroe wig, and then as Jen comes we hear a ding dong. Hurry up, Ben, get off the Casio.
Bong dong, bong dong, bong dong. I don't even know what that sound effect is, but it was on my keyboard. So Heather comes, so Jen comes in and Heather basically, Jen's like, girl, I got your text. Like, what's wrong? So Heather takes off her sunglasses and there's her black eye, like really big. And Jen's like, can I touch it? Can can't touch it. Like, wow, she's stolen Lisa's line at this point. Is there anything she won't touch?
Can I touch? So she's like, what happened? Wait, what happened? And she's like, I don't even know. Does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. Did you put ice on it? We should probably put ice on it. Where are the sunglasses? Where are the sunglasses? You're hideous. And she's like, girl, you literally have scratches. And Heather's like, no, it's not scratches. That's just lipstick. That is not lipstick. Those are scratches.
And she's like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? Wait a second. Did you get drunk and defraud a whole bunch of people? Oh my God, that was you. They're accusing me of your crimes. I can't believe it.
So Heather's like, well, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, Jen. And that's why I need your help, Jen, in case anyone wants to talk about what really happened last night. What does that mean?
What does that mean? It's so strange because I feel like Heather's smart and she's savvy. And if you're going to cover for someone, you already have your excuse ready when the cameras show up. Like you're already saying like, oh God, I went and I fell over. I was so drunk. I hit the bed. Like you already have it ready to go. Okay. So the fact that she's being so coy and suggesting she remembers, but she doesn't want to talk about it means that she is planning to blow up someone's spot, but she's not doing it just yet.
Yeah. She's waiting for the right moment. So Jen's like, well, what about spider laid eggs in your eyeball? She's like, what? I texted you to come help me, not to say a spider laid eggs in my eye. I don't think that story's gonna fly, Jen.
Okay, maybe like something came and implanted a little bomb in your eyeball and you've got 24 hours and if you go less than 60 miles per hour, your eyeball's gonna explode. Jen, that's not making me feel better either.
What about if you give me $19.99 a month, you'll have your own website. And then you got so excited about the deal that you banged your head down on the desk and you hurt your eye.
I don't know. I feel like we could do better. So then Jen starts going through her excuses. She's like, I don't understand what happened. Heather ate peanuts and has a peanut allergy and then rubbed her eye. Or maybe she swiped on Tinder and invited someone over and then she got rough. And then, or like, maybe she got in a bar fight. Like, bitch, you went out without me.
So Heather's like, okay, so we've got one spider laid eggs in my eyes. Okay, put that on the list. So then she says, we need a good cover story for this eye because I don't want any of these ladies to get in trouble. Now, what does that mean? Were you all like roughhousing and you got hurt? It's so hard to follow this.
Well,
it's
maybe
hard to follow it.
Maybe by saying, I don't want any of these ladies to get in trouble. Maybe she's saying, like, from people on the internet getting mad at them. Or maybe she's sort of broadening out to these ladies. That way it doesn't, like, maybe she's afraid that there's been a tell already. So she's like, if I say these ladies, it's saying, like, it could have been anyone, not just people that you may have seen come into my room.
Yeah, so Jen's like, okay, cover story, and you don't know what happened? She goes, okay, that's it. I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. And she's like, wait, you really don't know what happened? Or you're just saying you don't know what happened? She goes, right, I don't know what happened.
You know that there's like cameras right here, right?
Well, that's the other thing. We know that there's a camera in there that was getting all of this. So, they're fucking with us too. So she's like, okay, well, let's get Meredith now. I want to keep this a big, huge secret, so also bring Meredith in here. So they call Meredith, and Meredith's like, what's going on?
Wow, you guys both look as good as I feel.
I just want to make sure they use that at some point. And Meredith is wearing those under eye patch things, but those are the craziest ones I've ever seen. We've seen a lot on this show, but hers are like pot holders.
Or like little trivets.
Yeah, they're really big. So Heather's like, shit just got real. We need to talk. And she's like, you guys are scaring me. What's wrong, Jen? Is your vagina accounted for? Are Brooke's eyes miles away from it? Okay, I can take anything else.
Safe.
What was that? Oh, sorry. Someone ran from the base on my left cheek to the base on my right cheek, and they made it there okay.
So Heather pulls off the eyeglasses, and the music's like, dong, 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 dong. And she's like, is it obvious? And Meredith's like, what?
Well, there never was a conversation either way about if you'd be getting a black eye today. So Heather's like, I don't want to, well, when did this happen? Like, we were with you until 4 a.m. So then we see finally what happened with that door. At 4:50 in the morning, Heather opened the door, and then Jen and Meredith and Angie K entered, all laughing, and they were there for a while, and then they all leave laughing.
Yeah. So how did it happen? Well, that's what we don't know. We're walking through everything. You don't need to stop right now, Jen. Okay, now let's go. Put your finger down, Jen. Get your finger out of my face.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Okay, well, we don't know how this happened. And Jen's like, I'll be right back. Meredith, do not leave her. She needs a chaperone. So she leaves, and Meredith is asking her, do you have scratches on your back? I mean, what happened? Like, maybe you could have fallen, but the scratches on your arm don't say fall, you know? Right. They say Whitney screaming healing over and over.
And Heather's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And Meredith's like, well, you know what happened. And Meredith's like, oh my God, it seems like she was physically battered. Sort of like what Brooksy did to his brand new Thomas the Train toy.
Oh, it's what Brooks actually does to little rolls of potato. He physically batters them and physically fries them and then physically eats them and then physically calls himself a vegan after.
It's like the time I made Play-Doh for Brooksy, and he just mashed it in his hands on his little high chair, and I said, I'm going to take that away from you unless you stop physically battering the Play-Doh.
So Heather's like, I don't know what happened. And she's like, you don't know? I don't recall. And so she's just going to play coy. So then Lisa goes...
Heather's like, whew, like, thank God I put a lot of effort into my it turns out I don't remember things storyline this season, because it's really working out well for me right at this moment.
Yeah. So then Lisa goes to Whitney's room, and they're in their PJs, and she's like, good morning. How's it going? How's it going with you? How do you feel about last night? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling okay about last night? She's like, not really. No. The other thing I'm frustrated with is Meredith. You know how I used to be like, Lisa is a puppet master and she pushes strings. Well, now I see that Meredith is pushing strings. She really knows how to like put something up that like someone will take that thing and then they're like, ow, my string.
Yeah, she's even renamed me. She started calling me Marionette. I don't even understand that.
But this classic Whitney back to her old thing of being manipulated and then getting angry that someone was able to so easily and obviously manipulate her. This is Whitney's favorite thing to do.
But Whitney's the worst at it, because you tell her one thing. Meredith told her, well, I heard that Lisa's doing favors for Vita Tequila. Yeah, I heard that Lisa was fucking everybody for Jizz for Jazz tickets, and she's had 6 children from the Jizz for Jazz guy. Like, what? Wait, what?
You made me say that.
It's like, you got to recognize the holes before you fall in them, okay?
So then we see the clip of Meredith being a mastermind. And she goes, Whitney, you have told Heather, who has told Jen, Jen told Lisa, and Lisa told Seth, and Seth told Jen.
I just had the weirdest moment, Ronnie. I just had this moment where I was just like listening to you, because I had this moment where I got really excited, like, oh my God, like Christmas break is coming. I had this weird school moment, and then I was listening to you, and I'm like, I cannot believe this is what we are doing right now. Like, this is.
It is.
There was
hilarious.
something about like the excitement about going on break, and then the excitement about hearing this silly fight. I just like had this weird like sensation in my chest.
It is Looney Tunes. I don't get it either.
Crazy.
I was reading a comment that was like, "Oh God, Watch What Crappens is so stupid. My God, they're so loud, and those voices. It's just cringe. It's too irritating. It's the most annoying thing I've ever listened to in my life." And I was like,
yes.
Well, they've actually listened. I mean, I have to give them credit because that's pretty much our show. At least this isn't a fake review, you know?
I mean, yes.
Thanks for stopping
otherwise? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think I was Terry Gross? My apologies.
I was cracking
Stinky
up.
air. Yeah. So, Whitney is...
We're like this in real life, too, if it helps. Okay?
If it helps, yeah.
Ask anyone at the Home Goods.
Hold on one
Jesus
second.
Christ.
Hold on one
Uncle
second.
Fester's coming again.
Hey, Judy Woodruff. Yeah, one of your listeners listened to us by accident. Okay, could you send her your way? Thanks.
So we cut back, and Whitney's like, yeah, and then where she can say that I didn't say it, well, you know why? Because she didn't say it. She alludes, and then she gets the other person to say it.
That's like saying you're behind traffic and like the person in front of you makes a left turn on green, and then by the time you get to the light, it turns red, but you make the left turn also and you crash into a car and you're like, but they did it. It's like, girl, pay attention to the signals.
There, a little light bulb goes off in Whitney's head, and she goes, I think Meredith is seeking revenge and wants to take Lisa down without looking like someone who is seeking revenge.
Congratulations, Whitney. You solved it. It only took you 12 episodes.
I just want to see the infinity signs and like crashing waves in the ocean and then revenge. RIVINGE starring Madeline Stowe.
I just want to see a Ron Howard movie where Whitney is just like writing just about 3 digits onto a glass wall and just called a mind. It's not a beautiful mind, just a mind. Just a mind.
Yeah, it's not math. It's just random numbers. And then like a small letter A. You're like, wait a minute.
Is that algebra that she's doing? Who's Al?
So Lisa's like, wait a minute. So what was her plan? To get all of you to like... It was to get all of us to start saying stuff about you.
And then Lisa, of course, has known this, but she has to play along. So she goes, honestly, this is like, wow, I can't believe it took you so long to figure out what we've all been talking about for 12 weeks. Wow. Yeah. Meredith holds a grudge, and when Meredith is determined to take you out, there's like nothing that's going to stop her. Until I'm in the fetal position wanting to take myself out, she won't be happy. I'm like, okay. Okay, let's calm down. She's not the mafia. Okay, she's not putting you in a well and making you put lotion on your skin.
No kidding. I know. And also we had the Jen whole like, you made me want to kill I almost killed myself because of you last week. Like, can we drop that on this show? Okay, let's just drop that.
It puts the fresh wolf on its skin.
So then we go to the living room. Everybody's getting ready to go out for the day. And Whitney's like, are you ready for a shot? And Lisa's like, yeah, you have shots? Let's do a shot. Oh, my God. So then Dana comes. They're basically all just gathering around.
They're gathering. What could go wrong? Everything seems like a perfectly fine day, right?
Yeah. And Dana's like, are you guys ready for the date? We're going rollerblading.
Yeah. And then Heather's like, I am dreading this. I don't want anyone to see my eye. I don't want to have to answer any questions. So she goes in wearing sunglasses. So everything's fine because half of them are wearing sunglasses. And then everyone's showing up and like no one realizes that there's something afoot. And then Lisa's like, guys, I had like a near-death experience last night. Jen came in topless and hugged me. At first I was suffocated and I was like, you're choking me out. Guys, isn't that hilarious? And I was like, did Meredith send you to smother me to death? Because that's what she wants, retaliation.
So then Whitney's like, wait, tell me about last night, because I heard a lot of communion, but nobody came to my room last night with their titties out.
I like that she heard a lot of communion. I think she said commotion, but I like the idea that she heard a lot of communion, like she actually heard aliens on the rooftop. Wait a second. I read that book, Communion. There's aliens up there.
She heard a lot of Christians sharing bread downstairs.
or that.
And Heather's like, well, since I don't want to talk about this, Last night got a little rough, guys. And Whitney's like, what do you mean? She's like, I think we know what happened. We just don't want to talk about it. Wait a minute. What happened? What happened? What happened last night when I was suffocated? And then Heather takes off her glasses. And they're like, oh, my God.
Lisa's like, what the fuck happened? Did Meredith just punch you thinking that you were me?
Was it my life and reputation that Meredith thought she saw? And she was just trying to punch them, give them a black eye?
Was that John Barlow's reputation that she tried to attack?
So then the producer's like, well, what do you think happened, Heather? And she goes, I mean, what does it look like? What does it look like, okay? I'm just going to shut down, and I don't want to talk about it. And Lisa goes, what? She goes, I don't know. She goes, you're kidding, Heather. You're kidding. And Lisa says to us, did you just get some short-term memory loss with that black eye? Because you just said like 2 different things in like 2 seconds. And then we see on the screen 15 seconds earlier. I think we all know what happened. We just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And then Heather's like, she's like, I don't think it's too noticeable. I'm like, it's pretty bad, And so Lisa goes, Heather, are you insane? You look like somebody cold cocked you. When they sing that song, give me a break, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. They don't mean break your eye. Oh my God.
Yeah. You look like you're limping your way up a long staircase to ring a Taco Bell. Okay. It looks like somebody clocked you. She goes, well, maybe somebody did, and they just don't want to talk about it. Wait, did somebody hit you?
No, she just did some really fantastic eye makeup job today.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to make this whole trip about my black eye. I want to make this trip about people wondering about my black eye. Okay. Wait. So just to listen to Heather and then to see Heather laugh it off, but then to see Heather allude, I hope you like that word because I'm going to use it a lot today, allude to someone hitting her. She alluded. It's making me allude physical sickness. Like I feel like I'm going to throw up alludes.
And then Whitney takes a pillow and throws it in the air. Look, I threw up. So then Heather is like, you know what? What's the one way I like to deal with things, guys? By not talking about it. Let's just sweep it under the rug and deflect. And they're all like, okay. She's like, it's the Heather Gay way. And they're like, okay, I guess. And then Whitney's like, it's not funny, Heather. If someone did this to her, long pause. In this group, longer pause. If someone did this to her, that's a problem. Whew, I didn't think I'd get through that sentence.
Mm-hmm. And Heather's like, well, we're women of grit and we work through the pain. So half the ladies go go-karting. So we go go-karting. And of course, Lisa's like, oh my gosh, I think that I need one of these in my garage.
Yeah, I was like really sad that they did not, slide in a flashback of Lisa Barlow driving NASCAR in Vegas, So Angie K is like, the group activities have not been going very well so far, so I thought that one-on-one ride on one of the go-karts would be fun, just experiencing the city together and San Diego. I was hoping that I would have a very forced metaphor for the rest of this sentence, maybe about birds and flocking, but I think I'll wait later in the episode for that, because seagulls.
So they pair up to go in the cars 2x2. And Heather's like, I chose Lisa Barlow to pair up with because all she does is really talk about herself. I'm not going to have to say one word. And then it cuts to 20 minutes later. Yeah, so I got this really cheesy white dress. And John's like, how much was that? And I was like, 800 Diet Cokes. And he's like, oh my God, that looks like 80 Diet Cokes. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, Heather?
Yeah, Heather's like, if I were to ride with someone else, they'd just be grilling me. It'd be like an interrogation room I'm trapped in. So like Lisa won't even remember that I'm there, which is honestly a very good read on Lisa. It really is.
And then it just starts cutting to all the ladies talking about it. And Jen's like, well, when I first went in there, I thought someone punched her. And I was like, well, what about me? And then Angie's like, I thought it was a fall. I thought it was a fall that she went through. And Jen's like, did she fall? And Angie's like, yeah, well, her wounds were in 2 different areas. So that was weird. And then it cuts to Lisa going, and oh my God, I have so many shoes and they're all over the floor. And John's like, geez, why are there shoes all over the floor? I'm like, you know what? Don't harsh my chalupa, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just completely like not even concerned, not like you can tell me, you know. So then Jen's like, I mean, she doesn't even know what happened, but it's like you would have to know, right? Like you would have to know it was most likely anyone but me. And so then Angie's like, the stranger part is that she doesn't even remember at all. And Meredith is like, well, I think she has a clue and doesn't want to talk about it. I'm like, what gave you that sense, Meredith? The fact that she said, I know who it is, but I don't want to talk about it?
Speaking of people with a clue, let's cut to someone without a clue, ever. Whitney going, hey, wait, I don't know how to reverse this thing.
Where's the cloud with the fishing pole? Help.
Whitney's just stuck in the road. A guy actually has to get out of his car in traffic and physically turn her car around.
There is a Koopa Trooper in front of her that has holding up a sign that says reverse, going wee, wee, wee.
I love that production really does not give a fuck about these people. They're like, well, Whitney's just completely at a stop on a busy road. Surely nothing bad can happen. Let's just see. Let's just wait and see.
In a tiny car that people might not notice. She's like perpendicular across the lane. How did she even wind up like that, by the way? How did she forget that she doesn't know how to reverse? Why was she making a right turn into the curb?
What a dingbat. So now Meredith has booked a winery, and Dana's like, no, we're going to go rollerblading. So, all right, I'll see you at my house. So then Dana, Whitney, and Lisa go to the beach to do roller skating. And Whitney's like, hey, those are roller skates, not roller blades.
And then she goes, we are screwed. I'm like, do you have a presentation about rollerblades coming up? Why are you screwed?
Just, I have been rollerblading since I was a little kid. It's my jam. I've been rollerblading so long, I rollerbladed since the time when saying it's my jam was cool. But roller skating is so much different than rollerblading. It's not the same thing. So for me, it's going to be so much harder to shoot this very small scene where I get ice cream on wheels.
So when we go to the winery and they sit down at the table and it's like clown music because Roberto brings them chips and charcuterie. And Heather's like, oh my God, can we get a normal meal that requires utensils? I'm sick of rolled up cheese and tiny crackers and clusters of grapes. Okay? I want a fork and I want a knife.
I feel you. Like, please give her a slice of quiche or something.
Finally, somebody said it. Every scene, every episode this season, they've had charcuterie.
Well, especially because last night their dinner was just charcuterie. Like, I think that's really what she's reacting to. That like dinner last night was a table-length charcuterie board, and that's just not cool. I'm sorry. So Lisa's like, all through the 6th and 7th grade, I was in the roller rink every Friday night, and I could do tricks and all those fun things on roller skates. Yeah, so, it was fun, except for the time I got tied up to a pole in the middle of the rink and they threw eggs at me.
But even then, I got to know a lot of people. Hi!
Hi, Julie. Hi, Miranda. Ooh, that egg almost got me.
So Whitney's like, how was your car ride? And Dana says it was fun. And Lisa's like, yeah, what'd you guys talk about? Me and Heather were talking about our cats.
Doesn't even remember what she's talking about. So Whitney's like,
did you talk about her black eye?
And Lisa goes, no. Did she have a black eye? What do you think happened?
She's dating a black guy? Good for her.
Oh my God. Does she know Fergie?
So Whitney's like, wait a minute. She did it to herself or someone did it to her. It's like, oh my God. We need to just send Whitney Rose a gigantic magnifying glass to just hold up and look through every time she's saying one of these dippy lines.
Just have her follow footprints.
Either she bruised herself or she got a bruise from someplace. Huge eye Whitney.
Just get her we'll get her one of those like brown caps that has the flaps that go down over your ear,
The Poirot.
Yeah.
The Poirot special.
What was the name of that show with Jill Scott? Like Whitney could reboot it,
Oh my God, I love that. The number one. And that is so titled by Whitney. If you need anything figured out, call the #1 ladies detective agency. Thank you. Like, what?
It was definitely named on the fly.
That is definitely a Whitney Rose title. So then if Whitney gives us her hypothesis, she's like, well, I think if someone hit her, it was Jen. We all know how toxic their friendship is. And at this stage of like how intoxicated they were, what if like Heather ticked off Jen and then Jen hit her? But why is Heather covering this up? Does she think it will be bad for her trial? I don't know.
I feel like you answered your question there, Whitney. I feel like it's all right there. Unless the only other theory I could come up with is that Angie Harrington was just so mad about not being invited. She actually drove her way to San Diego, like with a diaper on, like that astronaut, and went and beat up Heather, and then left in the middle of the night.
I'd like to think it was just Marilyn Monroe.
You think I haven't taken enough shit? Have you seen the Netflix movie about me? It was trash. How dare you? Boom.
I think it was
the
the
shit
waiter.
out of every Marilyn Monroe.
I think it was the waiter from the charcuterie place. He's like, I told you to order the margarita.
He burst through the door on little shoes with skates on the heels. It's like,
I told you about the margarita.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
okay, so back with the other ladies, Meredith's like, listen, I don't know what happened, but whatever happened is not okay. And Heather's like, what? What do you mean? Oh, whatever broke my eye or gave me these scratches, this hole in my back, tried to decapitate me with a giant axe that I don't remember. I mean,
Yes, it's really concerning, okay? Like, I thought I'd seen concerning the way that Seth reacted to my toenail going up his taint, but this is a no level, okay? It's not okay at any level, and I don't know what happened, but I know it's not okay.
And Jen is giving some really guilty looking looks right about now. They keep cutting to Jen close-ups, and they're like, her eyes are really wide. And Heather's like, just respect. I don't want to talk about it now. I'll talk about it later, but not now. Well, we are worried about it, but we will respect your space just as long as you're safe. I'm sorry, I can't stop putting certain words in all caps.
Listen, we are concerned. Our frustrations are earned, and we're scared. Ah, God, I thought with enough time passing, I could start learning how to do 3 rhymes in a row.
So the producer asks Heather again. They're like, so you're not going to tell us what happened? She goes, I can't. Because that's the game of it, you know? I'm not going to say what happened until somebody else says it, you know? Like, I'm not going to spew my theories until everyone spews, okay, so are they theories? Or do you know what happened? You can't do this. This is not cool. And she says, this is like a game of Texas Hold'em, and nobody shows their cards.
All right, Heather, you got 30 more seconds before we bring in Kira Sedgwick, okay? Because we don't have to take it to that level, but we are willing to.
Now, you listen here, man. Get me a cupcake, would you? I just can't stop eating. Look at me. Just a food addict. Now, you listen here, you murderer. That was my favorite Kira Sedgwick character. They're like, here's Kira Sedgwick playing a lady cop who's just obsessed with food. She's as big as a pinky. Okay? Are you fucking kidding me with this? Don't try and pull this shit on me, TNT. I'm still mad about the closer. Oh, and then when they were like, hey, guess what? In season 2, we're not going to have wacky Kira. She's going to be serious now. Fuck off. First, you made her fake fat, and you made her fake wacky. You can't do this to me.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a tonal shift in that. I thought the show was serious all along.
Well, it was serious, but she was like kind of wacky because she's always like,
right.
Now you listen to me. Look at this crime scene, blood spattered all over it. Could you get me some licorice, doll? Okay. And then her thing was disarming people by being just a sweet Southern girl, and then she turned like real serious. But in the end, she was just always real serious.
She just was serious all this time. Well, we need her to get to the bottom of this mystery, which is like pretty obvious. I mean, you know, when you've spent like 2 or 3 episodes declaring that you're ride or die for Jen Shaw, and that you'll do anything for Jen Shah, and now you're covering something up. It's pretty obvious where this is going. So Heather goes, when I woke up, I called you, and you, and normally I would call Whitney immediately, but then after the dinner last night, when I found out that I was on a friendship break, and by the way, I just want to say this was Heather brilliantly pivoting away from her eye and making this about Whitney. And so when she says that, when Heather goes, I found out I was on a friendship break, it cuts to Meredith, and Meredith cocks her head up like she was like the T-1000 after the T-1000 took a giant like shot to the head, and it kind of like put its head back together, and I was like, I'm still coming after you.
She's like, Whitney and I have been in cahoots. I mean, we've always been best friends. And then I tell Whitney everything. Like, I would vent to Whitney, and I would say all this stuff that doesn't even matter. And so now she wants to start fresh with Lisa. Well, don't pull me into it, because, like, don't go telling her everything that I said as friends, and pull me into it, because it just makes me not trust Whitney. Trust Whitney. Sorry, it's a different show. She's like, I've never trusted Whitney. I don't even believe she really had a kidney stone.
Whitney has too much on her plate.
Yeah, Whitney is just so busy all the time. So she's like, but okay, also just have to point out here, it makes it sound like Heather is also copping to hearing the rumor of Jizz for Jazz, right? Because what else has Whitney said that Heather was talking about at petty times? It doesn't matter. So when she's saying Whitney and I have been in cahoots since day one, I say all the petty stuff to her that I don't, that doesn't even matter. And now she wants to buddy with Lisa and pull me into it and say everything we said as friends. So sounds a little fishy.
So here's how I'm actually interpreting that. And this is not because I'm like not a Heather apologist, but I'm what's the opposite of an apologist for the way Whitney interprets reality? Because Whitney has a strange way of interpreting reality, and I feel like Whitney and Heather were kikiing, and they were just joking, and they probably were laughing like, yeah, Lisa probably gave blowjobs for those seats, ha 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 ha, joking like that. And then next thing you know, Whitney's like, there's a rumor that you gave blowjobs for those seats. Heather heard it too. And it's like, Heather's like, no, we're probably just joking about it, and you just put it all out there like it was an actual rumor.
Yeah. So Heather's like, but I'm going to give her some grace because she's going through a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of information I didn't even know. I mean, Justin losing his job, ... And Jen's like, yeah, that's where they're bonding, because Whitney has her stuff with Justin and Lisa has problems too. There's the SEC filing. It's like, uh-oh.
So Jen is implying that Whitney and Lisa are getting close because they're poor now.
Yes.
They have debt, so therefore they're bonding. So yeah, she brings up this SEC thing, and she's like, yeah, I mean, like, there's a crowdfunding where like Lisa's saying that she's like the richest bitch out of all of us, but then she's also trying to crowdfund for like $25,000. Like, what about me? Where's my $25,000? I have lawyers. So Meredith is like, wow, the whole thing is very strange to me, because I don't understand why you reach out for $25,000 in crowdfunding, and in it you have to disclose everything and all your debts, and they have to have a loan from, they have a loan from Fargo, and well, way below market value.
Yeah, so Jen Shah poor shaming on the very week that the evidence came out of all of her stuff being fakes. Those court documents of like 90% of the stuff that Jen shows off on this show are fakes. Is funny. But also, when you've been ripping off yes, this is what it looks like when people are actually trying to fund their business. Like, what the hell? What is she supposed to have all this money in her purse?
Yeah. So, of course she's gonna shame that because it puts the attention off of her. So then meanwhile, over at ice cream, they've all like let their ice creams melt. We see like a close up of 3 melted ice cream and the cones fully intact. So none of them even ate their cones. Like, carbs, ew.
Well, it's also bullying, like whoever saw 3 Real Housewives coming and gave them a giant waffle cone with 5 scoops in them can go jump off they can jump off the boat. Okay. That's just bullying. That's Housewives bullying. Eat it.
Yeah. So Dana's like, so we went to Meredith's home, like me, Angie K, and Heather, and we were like all talking to Meredith, and she got some information from somebody about like your business, Lisa. She was like sharing with us that like Vita was crowdfunding something with like the SEC and the global recession being your fault. I don't know. Did you hear about that?
And then we see a clip of Meredith last night being like, and by the way, there is a whole SEC filing that's floating around that was sent to me, and it's a doc, and it's a public document that shows that they're not making money, and everything else that she's saying about everyone else. Well, hold on, let me just pull my head all the way back to be resting right on my spine while my chin moves downwards and makes a slope. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What I'm trying to say is if you look very closely at photos of that barge that clogged up the Suez Canal for 4 months, you see the person driving it was Lisa Barlow, and that was just sent to me.
So then we cut back to Lisa going, what the fuck is she talking about my business with you? And she's like, this is bullshit. Meredith is intentionally trying to hurt me. I mean, if it's accidentally trying to hurt me, that would be one thing. But this is intentionally trying to hurt me.
You know what? SEC filings are public filings, but it's not on Vita, okay? It's not a brand that we own that has one outlet that we sell nationwide, okay? Meredith is upset that I had a hot mic moment, and she's retaliating, okay? And she's trying to disparage my name and my business and my marriage and my family. And sorry, my company isn't failing. It's actually thriving, even though no one's ever seen it in the store.
My payouts are on Instagram, and she'd have to sell a lot of jewelry to make one of my payouts. And she said children are off limits, family is off limits, payouts are off limits. Well, guess what? You just came after all my stuff, so maybe nothing's off limits anymore. Maybe nothing's off limits anymore.
This is how Meredith works. She puts something out there.
So you think she's trying to make Lisa look bad? Wait, I was gonna say that. Well, land the plane, dummy. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
I didn't even know you were postmaster general. The POs, post offices, right? You've got put them on the Instagram. Show people who you really are.
I don't know why everybody's getting so mad. I don't know why you're getting so upset that everyone's calling you sexy. SEC, Whitney. Yeah, that's what I said.
What is SEC? Who's Essie? What is she seeing?
So Lisa's like, yeah, she told me I had mental issues. Oh my God. No, I don't pop pills, bitch. You do. Yeah, allude.
Wait, I just realized something. Lisa's mad because Meredith's retaliated her at something because Lisa said something last. It all makes sense now.
I love that Lisa is having a fit and screaming her head off on the beach with a pink bike helmet on.
Yeah.
So then we go to nighttime, and the van ladies are coming back to the house in the van and talking about what a fabulous time they had. And then Angie's like, wait, I want to understand more about this SEC filing. I don't know what this crowdfunding thing is. What is that? And Heather's like, it's a record by the government of when you use money for business. Yeah, it's a Securities Exchange Commission, and they monitor all public trading. So when you're doing crowdfunding, people need to know where that money is going.
And do you have to let them know if your shoes have been thrown off of a boat? Is that a filing as well? No. No, you don't. Because I would like to crowdfund to get those back. Well, then you might have to. Yes.
I would like to file something with the Sea Exchange Commission, please. And Heather's like, okay, and who does crowdfunding, Meredith? It's like, do you guys have a little song, like an after-school special? Like, Securities Exchange Commission, they monitor all public trading.
The wheels on the SEC go round and round, round and round.
Sexy. Get out of my after-school special, Whitney. It's not an appropriate outfit.
I'm bringing SEC back. Yeah.
I'm bringing Ceci back.
And all you filings are so out of whack.
Eh? It's just Meredith in the back going, eh?
I don't understand. What?
Well, here, let me just tell you, the poor people need it, and it's a pain in the ass is the bottom line. I can't imagine wanting to crowdfund at this stage in my life unless I don't have any other choice.
So, does that mean I'm going to get in trouble with the SEC for the time I went to a Papa Roach concert? No, crowdfund, not crowd surf. You're okay, Whitney.
I love having crowd fun. Oh, God. You're not even in this scene, Whitney. Please get off the bus.
What if I have chow fun? Because it's delicious. All right, Whitney. First of all, go back to your ice cream scene.
Ow. So Angie's like, okay, but are you close enough that you could ask her about this stuff? And Meredith goes, I don't care. I don't even care about this stuff, which is why I brought it up to the group last night and why I'm shaking my head and having a fit about it right now on this party bus.
You know what? I am so uncomfortable with Lisa not being here and them talking about her business like she's doing something shady. I mean, there's no way Lisa is broke. She would not be wearing the brands she's wearing, driving the car that she is driving, and living in the home that she is living in today. And if that's what being broke looks like, I will take it.
Hi, welcome to Bravo.
Yeah.
Lady.
This is why you're friends of, because you're not paying attention to the way the game is played.
Yeah, my God. So Jen pulls out her phone. She's like, here it is, I found it. And so it's these papers, I guess it's the report from the SEC or whatever. And Meredith is like, well, I don't like to count other people's money, but if you want to sit here and say, I don't own a home and my husband can't keep a job, then fuck you.
Wait a second, it sounds like she's retaliating. Whitney, I told you, go back to your rollerblading.
So now we're back at the house, and everyone's gonna get dressed for their big Greek goddess dinner and everything. And Angie goes to check in on Lisa. And Lisa's like, hi, Angie, you look so good. I'm 2022 Helen of Troy. Okay, well, not a goddess, but that's fine. Anyway, mortal.
I love they put up a side-by-side of her outfit, which is basically like a crop top version of something that like the chick from Frozen would wear. And then, Helen of Troy is in this long, flowy goddess dress thing. So good.
I know. By the way, I have to say, I love Helen of Troy's tequila. It's so tasty. So you should all try it. So,
Vita! It's still called Vita.
It's called
by Helen
Paris.
of Troy.
Hi, Paris. Hi, Homer and Achilles. That's all I can remember from that. So Lisa is saying how she had like a really good time with Whitney and Dana, and she's like, yeah, like we went roller skating and like stopped and got ice cream and then put the ice cream on the sidewalk and let it melt, which was like really fun. And then like Whitney and Dana were telling me that they went to Meredith's house and there was a conversation about my businesses. Oh my God.
And then Angie's like, well, at the wine tasting, they brought up like a SCCC, I don't know. What
SCC Peniston, something like that.
C. And Lisa's like, SCC! And she goes, yeah, thank you. So Meredith knew about it and brought it up, and then Heather was talking about it, and then Jen started digging out stuff on her phone, and Lisa goes, wow. And Angie's like, yeah, so Meredith and Heather have both experienced Jen's toxic behavior, but now they're both supporting it, and we know Meredith loves her feathers. Birds of a feather flock together, but they're not pretty birds. The seagulls. And everyone hates seagulls because they shit on people.
Thanks for seeing that all the way through the end.
Angie really gave it her all for that one. And Angie's like, well, Meredith said something about like John doesn't like to work or so, or he doesn't work. We all know that's not true. I could text him right now and he would pick up a chair and put it on top of his head. Just because he knows that's what he's supposed to do.
Did you just get pooped on by a seagull? Because I definitely just got pooped on by a seagull. Metaphorically speaking. Did I ever tell you I was going to compare them to seagulls? Yeah.
And Lisa's just going off now. You know, she's like, the fact that they're talking about John is disgusting. That is disgusting. Like her jaw is like under her chest and her head is in the back of, you know, like just completely unhinged. She's talking so widely. Her head is complete. Little Pez candies start spitting out at Angie's face.
She's like, you know what? Get your team together. Make sure you've got Heather. Make sure you got Jen. Make sure all your troops are ready to attack Lisa because you can't do it on your own. And if you attack me, make sure you come with facts and not made up bullshit. Okay? I know what I have. I know what we've built. And the fact that you're talking about John Barlow is disgusting. Like, honestly, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Can I touch?
So then it's dinner time, so everybody's gathered outside in their Greek goddess dresses, which not a one of them was, by the way.
No.
And so Whitney's like, wow, Heather, how do you have a custom evil eye patch? Can we do that again? I felt like the words were too far apart, and I want to make the words closer together. Heather, how do you have a custom eye evil?
Okay, Whitney, I'm going to save you here. Jen Shaw had a custom evil eye patch. Just a regular evil eye patch in her. I mean, an eye patch in her luggage. And then we made it customized.
From the top. Heather, this time with filling.
Okay, Jen had an eye patch in her luggage, and then Jen and Meredith bedazzled it for me with an evil eye. I'm like... And they're like, oh, that's classic Jen. Of course she has an eye patch. I'm like, does she? Now things are getting really weird.
That's for court. Because Jen walks into court like, well, the reason I answered those questions was because I wouldn't give you saline solution when they were questioning me and then my eyes were really burning and now look at me, I have an eye patch.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me who did all the fraud. It was my evil twin. Look, here she is. Everyone, look at the window. Okay, look back at me. Oh my God, my evil twin took over my body here. I have an eye patch on now.
Do you remember that when she was first... when they first took her down to the statement and she confessed and then she tried to like have her, it was something like she confessed and then she tried to have her confession stricken because they wouldn't give her saline solution during questioning and her eye hurt.
Right. I forgot about that.
I will never forget that. So anyway, Lisa's like, who cares an eye patch around? Like she's so mad. She's mad at everybody for every reason right now.
Yeah. So then, So now Dana comes out and Heather's like, what goddess are you? And she goes, I'm the one with all the kids. And Heather's like, Dana, that's crazy. Hera did not just have kids. She was married to Zeus, who cheated on her. And Lisa coming in as Helen of Troy. I mean, was it Helen of Troy or was it Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake at the Grammys? What's going on here? I would like to add something to that. Does anyone wearing feathers? Because that reminds me of seagulls. Do you know what seagulls do? They pick up trash and they die when they have plastic things around their neck. No, I got this, Angie. Okay, we're staying in Greek gods. It's Greek gods comic hour.
Jen comes in with giant hair, because she's Jen. And Whitney's like, who are you, Jen? And she says, I'm Goddess Athena. Yeah, Goddess of War. She brought a shield and a pole. It's a sword, Whitney. It's a sword, Whitney. Oh, I have a sword in my basement. It's sassy.
So then Lisa's so angry. She doesn't even want to be there. She's only doing it because Angie is throwing the dinner. It means a lot to her. So then Meredith comes to the table. She's like, hi, everyone. And Lisa's like, hi. Fake as fuck.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that. And Jen goes, with what, Lisa? With everything. Well, what's going on? You're like so grumpy. Like you came in as like the goddess of grump. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not. Nothing is wrong. Oh, snare, you're lying, Lisa. Are you lying, Lisa? Lisa, someone passed her the saline solution so she can't lie. She can't get away with lying.
Stop being so obsessed with me. I feel like Mariah Carey. Oh my God, I did invent Christmas. So that works out.
Oh my God, that fucking song. I need that song to just die. We're just at that time of year when it's like the rest of the year, love Mariah Carey. This time of the year, I'm just done. Just end it already. So then, sorry, Katie and Walter. Love you guys. But even they're sick of this damn song. They've got to be sick of that song. Everywhere you go in. You walk into a funeral, they'll be like, all I want for Christmas, shut up. All I want for Christmas is for you to shut the fuck up. I can't take anymore. I can't take it.
Ronnie, why are you so obsessed with me? Boy, I want to know.
I'm bringing Sassy back.
Why are you so SEC with me? You got me feeling emotions. Whoa, whoa, higher than I've ever been before.
So Heather is loving this, you know. She's like, who pissed in Lisa Barlow's Diet Coke? She's not happy, and everyone knows I love an unhinged Lisa Barlow. So here's hoping I can see it all from my one eye, which I do not want to talk about.
Yeah. So then Angie gets carried in by some random, you know, like, I guess like the Uber Eats guys. She's like, hey, can you guys stay for one moment and just carry me into the backyard? Thank you very much. So she's like, ladies, meet Zeus and Hercules. Welcome to the gathering of goddesses. And they're like, oh, wow. Well, this makes me lose faith. These are our goddesses. I don't know. So Angie's like, she's like, okay, gods, you may depart. Everyone, I'm very passionate about being Greek. Both my parents are Greek, and I want to share my culture with these ladies by having them dress up like Greek goddesses. And that's the end of my cultural awareness program. Thank you.
So she gives them all the little evil eye necklaces and stuff. And Lisa's like, oh my God, could anything be more appropriate? Give me all the evil eyes. Anything to ward off these evil bitches. So then Lisa goes, Angie, it is amazing that your parents are true immigrants. As opposed to what? False immigrants? What are you talking about? All those fake immigrant parents out there.
You know what? Your parents, they really make it happen. If you believe in yourself and you come to America, you can make it happen. Make it happen.
Wow. You know what? It's so nice to hear that your parents came over literally holding a gyro. Gyro, am I right? So they start talking about their days, and Dana's like, roller skating was so fun. We had ice cream while we were skating. And Lisa's like, yeah, we got ice cream, and we chatted a lot, and we had a very informative conversation. And boom, the sound effect guy has showed up. So Whitney's like, wait, I have a question. Who alluded about a SEC filing? Who brought that up? Sound effect.
Honk, honk. So Lisa's like, why is everybody so worried if I have an SEC filing? And Red's like, nobody is worried about it. And Lisa goes, well, did you talk about me and my businesses? Well, I haven't really talked about it other than in passing, just casually just sort of tumbled out of my mouth when I said, hey, everyone, come over to my place so we can talk about Lisa's businesses. Then we talked about them for 3 hours, just in passing.
But did you have a conversation with Dana about it? Angie, tell us about the conversation she had with Dana about it. And Meredith's like, well, that was the same conversation where I was casually dancing. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm going to be very clear. And Heather goes, whoa, we just went from 0 to 60 at the table. Heather, you were just the one talking about it in the car, too.
Listen, I have an SEC filing that has multiple grants, and that is not Vita Tequila, okay? That is Tequila Ciudad, okay? And if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer for you. I think it's funny that you guys all want to chit-chat about me, okay? And so
Lisa, please. You want to chit-chat about everyone else, honey?
Yeah, she goes, please, honey. I'm like, are you listening to Las Culturistas? What's happening here?
It's so funny. Honey. And Lisa's like, Meredith, I had one bad moment in our whole friendship. I went with not one moment. Do not go there. I've got the caps on for every other word.
Oh, do not go there. What are you going to do? Talk more gossip about me? Okay, and say my husband doesn't have a job. Don't talk to me.
I love her Downton Abbey, trying out that Downton Abbey accent. Oh, well, your husband has a job. He works with you and you have a company, and no one has doubted that, Lisa. Oh, is that true? And she told us what's true, Angie. Tell us. And Jen's like, why are you asking Angie?
So Heather's like, did she come home from our bus ride and download it all to you, and now that's why you're so pissed? Is that what happened? And so now Heather's mad that Angie gossiped. And she's like, oh, thanks very much, Angie K. You think you're just going to endear yourself to Lisa? You think Lisa just wants to hear about her $25,000 SEC filing? Pretend you didn't hear. Pretend she's rich. That's what she likes.
And she tells her, she's like, it's in poor taste to host a dinner where you stir up trouble before it starts, Angie K. Even though we all said that stuff in front of you, so you would do exactly that. You know, it's like, this is a fuck you, but also a thank you. You know, so Angie's like, but you guys were talking about her, and that makes me very uncomfortable because, like, we were in the car, and then they were talking to you, and like you were talking about her, and that's wrong. Seagulls.
What's the point to show flaws in who I am? No, the point is, if you want to question my husband's business, I didn't question your husband's stuff. I said something. I just said something ridiculous in a rant. Okay, you gotta get over that. And Meredith's like, well, and you endanger the livelihood of his 4,000 employees.
Okay,
It's reckless.
Okay. Okay, we can calm down. You almost put 4,000 people into the poorhouse, Lisa. How could you? So I'm just looking at this. I'm looking at Seth Marks' LinkedIn. Let's see here. Oh my God, we have a friend in common. So there's that. So he's been at his recent job, Chief Merchandising Officer, Channel Control Merchants, 1 year and 10 months. Before that, 1 year and 3 months, CEO of IE Retail Ventures. And before that, 2 years, 4 months. So he changes jobs a lot. What's the big deal? I wouldn't say it a damn job either. All of those sound boring as hell, you know? So, 4,000 employees. So Lisa's like, it's just us right now. How many times are we going to talk about the broth? Don't make one mistake, anybody. You'll apologize the rest of your life. I apologize. When are we going to move on to this just to keep happening? And Meredith's like, well, I talked to you about it months ago and you completely ignored me.
I didn't ignore me, and you were not nice, so we have nowhere to go. How did I turn it on you? Well, you accused me of calling you mentally ill, and that is extraordinarily disgusting to say that because I did not do that. And then it's 2 months earlier, it's her basically saying, I'm willing to move forward with you if you get the help that you need to stop being such an awful person, Lisa.
Yeah, if you do get help, then I'm here for you. But if you don't get help, I'm not here for you. And then Lisa said, what kind of help? And she says, I don't profess to be a doctor. So, yeah, you did, Meredith. Yeah, you did. So Lisa's like, so let's just sit around and talk shit instead of working on forgiveness. That, you know what, let's do this instead. That's really helping. And she goes, well, I told you I can move forward. But it doesn't feel like we're moving forward.
Even though you try, you can't let go. Something in your heart marks it. It's so... Okay, stop it. We get it. People are obsessed with you. You didn't create Christmas. Enough with the back catalog, okay? So Lisa's like, if you were trying to stay in a good place with a friend, you don't try to find holes in their lifestyle. And when he goes, it comes to intent. It comes to tents. It comes to going to REI and buying tents to go camping.
Yeah, it comes down to being intense. And Lisa's like, well, you're a lawyer. Oh, no, Lisa, you're a lawyer. You know what intent is. Intentions are everything. Just, yes, and I've seen your intentions. You haven't seen my intentions. You've seen me upset one time. God forbid I get upset one time. So Meredith is like, it is not in one time. It is a multitude of times. And then she tells us, she's like, she has done a multitude of things over the years, like talking behind my back, like not calling me when my father was dying, or like canceling my makeup artist last minute in the height of a global pandemic. And the music's just this is when the sound effect goes.
So you gotta lead up to the thing with your dad. Okay, that's where you want to go out on. Okay, so Lisa's like,
yeah, the heightening here, the climax here is not you getting your makeup done, Meredith.
listen, I didn't like that Meredith insinuated that I had a mental health issue. What I had was a rant. It was a tirade. It was a rant. Don't relabel it. Well, for me, it was a tirade, and I can say what it was for me. Can we say diatribe? Who's a diatribe? There's a tribe of dieters here. Okay, I'm sticking with rant.
Teddy shows up. Hi, I'm Teddy. Get out of here. So then Heather's like, oh my God. And now we're sitting here fighting about tirade versus rant. Was I a trash can whore or a garbage whore? So Lisa's like, I don't want my family talked about, and I don't want to sit here having these same conversations over and over and over again.
Yeah. So then Whitney's like, well, how do we move forward when you sit at a table? Because if I move forward, I hit the table and things shake around a lot. So what do we... Oh, back up the chair and then turn around. Okay. Oh, but also, how do we move forward when everyone remembers it differently, feels differently, knowing that we all love each other? How do we put down our poles and our shields?
Well, guys, we have not talked about Heather's black eye, so let's not talk about it anymore tonight because I know it's going to make Heather uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So Heather's like, we're a group of women with more in common than we want to admit, and at the end of the day, we need to put petty aside. I think my eye might be a metaphor for our friendship. We woke up and we don't understand where it's coming from, so we wear a patch and we just sweep it under the rug. They're like, oh my God, she's bringing it up again, but we still can't talk about it.
So the producer's like, okay, so you don't remember how it happened? She goes, I didn't say that. I didn't ever say that. I didn't say I don't remember how it happened. I just said, I'm not talking about it. First rule of Fight Club. So there was a fight? No. You were in a club? No. You were in Fight Club? No. You were in Fight Club. Yes, I was in Fight Club. I did get into a fight and I was hurt.
Girl, none of us have the abs for Fight Club. Okay, don't even bring that up.
Well, Meatloaf was in Mike Fight Club. Don't forget.
Oh, okay. Was he?
Yeah.
I will do anything for you. So Whitney's
But
like,
I won't do that.
but I won't do that. You're intense.
Number one detective agency for women won't do that.
But how did you get the black eye, Heather? And Heather goes, well, if someone does a secret knock on your door, don't answer. Okay? To be clear, I'm still not sure what happened. Okay, so now you're saying that it was somebody knocking on your door in the middle of the night who did this. You're so
God.
fucking annoying. You know what? At this point, I don't even care that you got hit in the eye. I'm on their side. What the fuck is this?
So the producer says, well, why don't you want to talk about it? Who are you trying to protect? And Heather goes, myself. Like, okay, so what is this? Like James Gandolfini's ghost punched you in the face? What happened?
Yeah, really. She's afraid that she's going to look stupid because she was just drunk? Or is she afraid that she's going to say it's Jen and then Jen's going to really kill her? Like, what is she talking about? Come on. Yeah. This is unfair. Seriously. And guess what? You don't get to know either, audience, because we don't know. This is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. So... that's that. But that was our big cliffhanger. I hope we do get to find out because it is kind of like, it is really bothering me. Like, I really, really, really want to know. I really want to know. But like, it's also smart because, man, I am like whipped into a frenzy right now.
Oh, I'm tired now.
Tired. Well, guess what?
My frenzy. I was like, it's over. It just dropped the mic. I'm already like into ice cream. Like, I don't know what the hell you're even still doing at a microphone. I have my pants unzipped to go pee-pee.
Well, we are logging off, but we still have, again, we have more content coming. We're going to have the Christmas recaps coming and all that stuff. So everyone have a happy happy Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa and whatever else you're celebrating. And we will catch you in the new year, although you'll still have content from us here. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Dana C. Dana Do. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch. Kristen the Piston Anderson.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
There ain't no problem that Sarah Salvia can't solve ya. The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
Always the wiser, it's Allison Weisler.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Erica, 500 Days of Summers.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Undo your fasteners, it's Aaron Kastner.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
We want to hang with Liz Lang.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.